Hello, I'm Kate, a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Washington State. I want to welcome you to my weekly YouTube video where I feature some of the current products from the current catalogs and Stampin' Up! So today I am looking at a stamp set and die bundle that is available in the annual catalog called A Wreath. So it has the stamp set and dies, wreath builder dies, and it is also the stamp set, or the dies aren't available in the holiday catalog, but in the holiday catalog there is a stamp set designed to coordinate with these dies as well. So that kind of inspired me to see what I could do. So let me share with you, I made a fall card and I made a Christmas card. So let's start with the fall card. And this is the card I made. And I think it turned out absolutely gorgeous. So let me show you how we did that. I started with a piece of Whisper White Thick, cut 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. I'll burnish that edge, and that will make an A2 greeting card that's going to be a side fold. Open on the side fold. Then I cut from Gilded Autumn Designer Series paper. I cut a piece 4 by 5 1/4 from the one that has the foil acorns and leaves on it, and I'm going to just attach that flat to the card front. And to do that, I'm going to sit my card sideways. And then if I can get my 3 sides fairly even, then the rest just falls into place. And there is that part. Then I used from the catalog the brushed metallic brushed designer papers or foils or whatever you want to call them. And I cut this one from what's called the bronze. I cut this one, I tore that one when I was taken out, but I'll show you I can still make it work. This one I cut from the copper, and this center piece I cut from the gold, and they're all from that brushed gold or brushed metallic papers. And I attached the circle first, and to do this I put embossing buddy on there to kind of get rid of the static. Then I stamped this sentiment, which came from the Autumn Goodness stamp set, with Versamark ink, and then embossed it with white embossing powder. And when you heat emboss, I preheat my heat tool for a couple of minutes so that it's good and hot, and that helps melt the powder faster. And you're still going to get just a little bit of warpage. That's not critical. It will still hold. And so I'm going to put lots of adhesive on the back of it. Make sure it's got really good coverage. And I'm going to mount this centered from side to side and just slightly above center. Remember, you've got to leave room for the overlap of your leaves and things. So like that. So the dies, this die, circle die, is 2 3/8 circle die, came from the Layering Circles stamp set. Then these came from the Wreath Builder dies, and I put down this one first, and I did that by just putting some glue dots. And I see that there are a few little chads hanging on here, so let me get those off of here because I want it to be perfectly clean. And I see a spot here I didn't get poked out. I call this my pokey tool. And I just put glue dots on the back in just a few places, and I don't want them to be sticking out, so you might roll them up a little bit, and you don't need them on every single spot. I just kind of went through and put them in a place or two around the wreath. Let me get some more here. Probably ended up putting on about 4 or 5 of these around the edge. I am going to put one here where I tore it, so it's got good grip there, and one there. That's enough. And then I just matched up the edge around the edge of the circle and laid it down lightly so that I could get it all in place, and then just pressed it down to get those spots to stick. And it's okay if some of the leaves stick up a little bit. Then I did the same thing with this one that I cut from the bronze, and it goes on top. And again, just on a few of the leaves. Oops, get it on the leaf. Those these dots that come in our paper pumpkin kits are actually a little bit smaller, and they're also quite a bit flatter, and they work really well for this kind of thing as well. You also could have put double-sided adhesive on this before you cut it out, and that would also give you plenty of sticky to get it in place, but I didn't want to stick all of the pieces down. Now when I put this one on here, I just kind of put it so that the leaves would hit some of the open spots and not just totally cover up. And again, you're just matching up that ring with the things behind it, and then press it down. And there's that part. Then for the acorns and leaf, I stamped these onto Whisper White with Versamark ink and embossed them with gold embossing powder so that it would kind of carry out this metallic look that I was creating. And I did 2 acorns and an oak leaf, and again just used the glue dots, and I'm just going to stick them together. And I put the, let's get another one. And I just put this one over the top like this, so I could kind of spread them out and create a little bit of a trio look there. And then before I put those on, I went and cut out a bow, also from the Wreath Builder dies, and I am going to put it together with a glue dot right in the very middle. Oops, I wanted that on the back side. Let me fix that. Hold on. Sorry, I'm off screen, but I had to pull it up to get it off of there. And I'm going to put it on the back side instead, because I want this to be on the back side, like this. And we'll get back in screen here so you can see it. So there's my bow, and I am going to attach all of that with another glue dot to the front of these, and then one more on the back side to hold it all in place, and I just decided that right there would look nice. So that's that card. This stamp, the leaf was stamped over the gold with Cajun Craze, and for the acorns I stamped the body part with soft suede stamped off once, and for the cap I stamped it with Early Espresso. And there is card number 1. Now I will do card number 2, and it's my Christmas card. For this card, I again started with Whisper White thick, cut for 5.5 by 4.25 by 8.5, excuse me, scored at 4.25. It's also going to be a side fold greeting card. This paper came from In Good Taste, and I'm just again going to attach it flat to the back. To the card like this. I thought this was just a perfect wintry looking color. Then I used the Wreath Builder dies, and I cut this back one from Mossy Meadows, and it's the one I'm going to put on the back. And again, there's another little Chad I can knock out of there. Okay, and again, I just did it with glue dots, and I'm going to show you using these, because if you get Paper Pumpkin, these are just, I save all of these from all of my kits. I never use them all, and they are just perfect for this kind of piecework. And I just looked for spots where it was wide enough to place one of them. As I go around, there, one could go right there. And let's put one there. And then we just got to peel the tops off of them. Gets quiet when I'm doing that. I'm thinking so hard. It's funny. So yeah, and it doesn't need a bunch of them, just enough to hold it in place. It's not going to go anywhere once you get it stuck down with 4 or 5 of these. And it's okay if there's a little bit of looseness. Now this, you don't have to worry about anything in the middle, but again, it's just centered from right to left and just slightly above center, top to bottom. Let's see, I think right about like that looks good. So I put that one down. Then I'm going to do this one the same way. Now I didn't pop these up. I just put them on flat. They still have a sense of dimension to them. I think it still looks really, really good. So again, just 4 or 5 of those. Let's get those out of the way. And this was Pear Pizzazz. This leaf cluster is Pear Pizzazz, and I think I said the other one was Mossy Meadow. And when I attach it, I'm just going to kind of match up those rings again so that it's centered with it, and then just press around so it stays in place. Okay, then I went to the poinsettia dies, and they have a small die in there that looks like this. It both cuts it out and embosses it, and they're just lovely. And in the holiday catalog, there is a package of red and green foil, and I used the red foil. And back to glue dots, I put 2 together to make one flower, and I just put 1 glue dot in the center of 5 of these. 3, 4. So I had to cut out 10 flowers. In the dies, there's 2 of these in the dies, so you can cut out 2 at a time, which makes it nice. You don't have to do quite so much cranking on your die cut machine. And then when I stuck them together, I just offset the petals a little bit. You can see how I've done that. Three, 4, and 5. So there are those, and then I took these and just gave them a tiny bit of, with my fingers, just a tiny bit of curl so that they would stick up nicely. And again, you could attach these now with mini dimensionals. That would work if you wanted to raise it up a little bit. I didn't do that on my original card, but let's do that on this one just to see. I think I would like that. So I'm going to do that. It gives them a little more room to bend a little bit. And that mini dimensional is empty. So let me get some more. And we'll just put one on the back of each of these. Again, more mini dimensionals from a leftovers from a paper pumpkin kit. I save all that extra stuff that I don't use up when I'm building kits. I actually have a tendency on my paper pumpkin to, forgot to bend my flowers just a little bit. There we go. On my paper pumpkins, I have a friend who can't always afford to buy the kit. So when I get it, I make my alternatives for my alternatives video, and then I share the remainder of the kit with her. I don't ever keep the extras, other than occasionally I keep the adhesives, and I keep like sentiment tags that they've provided, and the rest of the kit goes to my friend. Okay, and so you can place your flowers however you want. Then this is metallic edged ribbon. It's 3/8 inches wide. I cut a piece 12 inches long, which is more than enough, but I like to have enough to work with because I'm not that coordinated. And I just make 2 loops, fold them over each other, and tuck it through. Get a hold of it sometimes. Told you I wasn't coordinated. And pull it down. And then of course you can pull the tails down and tighten it up a little bit and decide on what size you want your bow to be and everything. So let's do that. And that looks about right to me. I think I'll leave it there. And then I'm going to cut off the extra. And I can leave the tails fairly long because I've got room at the end of my card to do that. Let's see how that looks. I think I like that. And that is attached with another mini glue dot. On this particular project, I liked the real fabric bow better than I did the other. Then I have a sentiment, and the sentiment came from Autumn Goodness stamp set, and I am going, it's just Merry Christmas, and I'm going to stamp it with Night of Navy right in the center of this. Just like that. And there's that card. Now, I was inspired in the holiday catalog that goes with the poinsettia stamp set and bundle. They had these beaded clusters. I think that's what they were called, beaded pearls, and it's 3 pearls, but it was made for the bigger poinsettias, and these were too small for those clusters to work. So I went into my stash and I pulled out the 3mm pearls, and I put 1, 2, 3 on the center of each of these and created my own pearl cluster that was sized more perfectly for the card. And I had an abundance of pearls. I always have stocked up on them because they were one of my favorite embellishments, and because I can color them with the blends pens to fit any project I am doing. I really like them because the blends pens dry permanent on non-porous surfaces, so you can use them to color these pearls and have them match. So I could have made these pearls any color I wanted, but in this particular case I was inspired by the idea of them being white. So that is what I am doing. And we'll get those last few on here. Look out, bow. So I hope you're enjoying it. Again, this is the Arrange a Wreath bundle. Comes with dies and stamps, and it's in the annual catalog on page 45, and there's a coordinating stamp set for Christmas or winter in the holiday catalog, so you can go there and get that stamp set to go with it and make it even more versatile. And there we go. So that's what I had for you today. These two lovely cards. I hope you enjoyed stopping by. I encourage you to subscribe to my blog and my YouTube channel. And if you're watching on a laptop or a desktop, there's an automatic subscription button that you can click on that will automatically subscribe you so that you'll know every time I post a new video. Thanks again for stopping by.